The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's innovation hub. Discover your opportunity at enterprisecayman.ky. And Kirk Home Center. They've got a great deal in store for you.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. The spotlight this morning is on the Center for Theological Leadership Training, better known as CTLT. CTLT has been equipping leaders across our churches and communities with denominational theological education, and this September they're expanding their offerings with a brand new counseling course designed to strengthen emotional, spiritual, and pastoral care across the Cayman Islands. And I absolutely love the idea of a counseling course. So joining us this morning is Dr. P.J. Lawrence, Director of CTLT, and Debrica Rollins, CTLT's counseling lecturer. They're here to tell us all about the new course, the anniversary year, congratulations, and a full range of programs available, from certificates and diplomas to the Doctor of Ministry. So welcome to The Buzz. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm
Thank
well.
you. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here. Thanks.
It's good to have you. So tell me about CTLT.
CTLT is Center for Theological Leadership Training. There is a background to it because I have been doing this on the island, Cayman Islands, from 2000 to 2006. We have during that time, it was a United Church program called ITLD, Institute for Theological Leadership Development. ITLD is a United Church project, and I was the director for that. And we delivered on the island programs like diploma and degree in theology, and we introduced a degree program called Bachelor's in Guidance Counseling, and also Master's in Pastoral Psychology and Counseling. I did it for 6 years, from 2000 to 2006. And I had to go back to India as a bishop, so I was away for 10 years. And after 10 years, when I come back, the United Church did not have this ITLD. So I started this program as a Center for Theological Leadership Training, as a non-denominational, because earlier it was a church denominational program. Now we are open to all denominations, and we have students from Anglicans to Presbyterians and
Catholics,
Pentecostals, all kinds of denominations. And our program is unique in the sense that if somebody wants to do a college level program, you always have restrictions in terms of entry levels. You need to have basic entry level. Whereas here, we take you as you are, and we give you entry level at a certificate program. And if you do well at the certificate program, you can move on to diploma, degree, and master's. So it is unique in the sense that you can come with what you are as you are, and then develop into
with the education that you have.
Yes,
whether you finished high school or not, per se, or went to college or not, you can still join this program.
You will be surprised to know, when we first started, we had the first student who had 2 masters. And she's Melissa, who is now one of our lecturers. And we also had someone who did not have anything at all. And they sat side by side. One was an Anglican, another was a Pentecostal. That is how we started this program 10 years ago.
I like that you came back from India after returning there for 10 years, and you saw, okay, this program isn't happening in Cayman again. So you saw a need.
Yeah.
What was that gap that you saw that the Cayman needed for this program?
Exactly. And my passion actually is biblical illiteracy. So much of biblical illiteracy among all the believers, Christians. We go to church, maybe an hour in a week, and we may read the Bible in the mornings. But what about in-depth? What is going on in the Bible? Because what is going on in the Bible is exactly what is happening today in the world.
Yes.
And therefore, we connect Bible and today's world, and we take you to different levels.
Yeah. So what you saw was that need for biblical literacy more than anything.
The reason, again, is in the world we have leadership. We have workshops, conferences, but there is nothing for theological leadership, a God-centered leadership. So that is my passion again, where we bring in God into at all levels. And I'm very happy that when I first started in 2000, one of our students was Linford Pearson, who was a speaker at that time. And now, again, we have the sitting speaker now, Elder Ezed Miller, who did our first year course in certificate, and he is very happy that he did it because now he knows Bible a little more than what he had known earlier. So this is catering to all kinds of people who have no.
So not necessarily you have to be a leader or have a position in a church, a leadership position in a church, or a pastor or a priest or anything like that.
Our students come from nannies to teachers. We had even doctors in our program, and politicians, business people. We had policemen in our program. So we have a variety of people drawn from all walks of life.
I think it'd be so interesting because the Bible has so many things in the world based upon the Bible. Like when we look at our laws, for example. And I didn't know this until a friend had to explain. So many of the laws that we have today are based upon the Bible. And I was like, this is interesting. And I never really considered that. So even just for a common person, an attorney, anything like that wants to get more in-depth knowledge, this would be a great program to participate in.
When you talk about law, people only know it's only 10 commandments, but there are 611 laws in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
611 laws.
So you knew exactly what I was talking about there. And we know we got a lot more laws than that in Cayman as well. Yeah. Okay, so you're introducing a new course, which is a counseling course. Debrica, you are leading this, yes?
Yes. And this counseling course came about because persons expressed a need for basic counseling skills.
They wanted the skills to be able to counsel others.
Right. So when we think about the context of caregiving, whether it's for the elderly, for children, nurses, they wanted the ability to offer a more holistic approach to the care that they give. And so they actually expressed the need for specifically a course that focused on counseling. And so that inspired the creation of this course.
Okay, because I want to say I remember through the United Church, they had a counseling program, the Bethesda, I think it is, counseling program. You may or may not remember this. But yes, we used to run ads for it. So I remember we did it.
We started that through ITLD, as I told you.
Okay.
2000 to 2006. We delivered those programs. Okay. In fact, most of the counselors in the school are trained by us.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very interesting.
With a bachelor's in guidance counseling.
Okay. I like the idea of offering counseling within the theological kind of aspect, because you do have a lot of people in church that are looking to be counseled, that are looking just for a little bit of guidance somehow. And often, we have our mental health professionals that can offer psychiatric services, whatever it might be, counseling services, therapy services like this. But then there's also the spiritual element. Right. And I think when you are a spiritual person, it's important to merge both sides together. I think that's important. I'll say to my Christian friends, if you're going to make a really big decision, yes, talk to somebody who can counsel you within your church perhaps, but in my opinion, don't just stay there. Also go to a different mental health professional as well. Get those kind of balances. People need it though, and especially what's going on in society today. Counseling is so needed. So I think this is a great thing.
A course in fundamentals, as Debrica said, it is a holistic approach.
Yes.
That is why we have subjects like psychology, introduction to psychology, communication skills, understanding other religions and cultures, a theological perspective, ethical perspective, and also compassionate caregiving. So these are the important components anybody in everyday counseling. So they will be better equipped with this kind of a course. That's why we have felt the need and introduced it.
Can you touch a little bit on the topic that you have, understanding other cultures and religions?
Say that again?
One of the topics that you have is understanding other cultures and religions.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, we have a lecturer by name Dr. Gary Gardner. He teaches on other religions and cultures. For example, we do not know, now Cayman is a Christian country, but we have other people coming in to work and to do services. And they belong to different religions. They may be Hindus, Muslims, other religious persuasions. So it is important to know about the religion, because religion and culture go together. And religion and culture, language, all these things are important. And unless you know where they are coming from, you would be just imposing from your own perspective. That's the reason why we are trying to help them. And we do have a regular 10, these courses are delivered in 10 weeks, a 1 day a week subject for 10 hours. So it is a very comprehensive program.
I think the topic of understanding different cultures and different religions is important, especially for Cayman. As people like to say, we have such a melting pot of different cultures that are here, different nationalities that are here, and obviously different religions, right? And cultural intelligence is really important in this is how we all get along. This is why we travel, to try to learn from other countries and how they do things, because there's, that saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So there's more than one way to look at something and understand things. And I almost think that kind of a course should be taught throughout schools, per se, because we all have to understand that we're coming from somewhere else. We can all share the same ideas. We all need to respect each other, because really it's kind of an ultimate goal that we all have in whoever we're praising in our life. Yeah. So I like this topic a lot.
Yeah, well, we do focus on Bible, theology, and all these. We are also looking at other religions and cultures, so that unless we know them, we will be imposing on them from our own perspective.
Yes.
Therefore, we give a very deep understanding of our own, where we are coming from, as well as others where they are coming from, so that we can meet together in order to enhance one another's.
I have an example I have a neighbor who's Hindu, and there is something that they do within their religion. And so sometimes he comes out in the morning and he does something with water. And I was walking my dog, and it's a very narrow passageway for me to pass right in front of him. But I saw him doing this thing right outside, and I was like, okay, dog, wait. I don't want to cross in front of my neighbor, because I did not know what he was doing, but I figured it was something spiritual. And so I wanted to wait and give him that respect in time. And then when he completed, I asked, because I was curious, and he just explained to me that it's part of his religion and what he does, and because there's different, I think, are they called gods within?
They have different gods.
Yeah, so it was to that certain god that he was doing his, I guess, spiritual giving to, prayers to, per se. So it was very interesting for me, and I learned it. I respected it. Now I know when I see it, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to go around a different way. I'm not going to get in his path. Mm-hmm. A lot of people won't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely an important topic, because it will help our caregivers or counselors to be more empathetic and to offer better, appropriate, compassionate care to those they are catering to.
The uniqueness of our program also is that if you do not want to pursue a particular course like certificate or diploma or bachelor's, you can pick and choose anything that you find interest. That's why we give you all the courses here, all the subjects. If you are interested in just the religion and culture of others, You just
can audit.
you can sit in those classes.
Well, let's get into what those subjects are. We got to take a quick commercial break right now. Let's turn to the subjects and then talk a little bit more about how people can pursue these different certificates and degrees.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Cayman, this Sunday, you got what you asked for. Yes, Le Classique is taking it outside with a sidewalk shoe sale from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. this Sunday. It's buy one, get one free, equal value or less. And ladies, we didn't forget the men. Bring your husband, bring your boyfriend, bring your baby daddy, bring your brother, bring your daddy, or come shop for him yourself. We're putting the spotlight on for men with great styles and even better deals. One day only, this Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Everything on the sidewalk, buy one, get one free, equal value or less. Le Classique in the Strand Shopping Complex. Don't miss this one, Cayman.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are learning about the Center for Theological Leadership Training. They have a new course that they're offering, which is a counseling course. It's kicking off this September, and my guests in studio are Dr. PJ Lawrence, the director for Center for Theological Leadership Training, and Debrica Rollins. She's a counseling lecturer. Now, I know I said we're going to mention the programs that the CTLT is offering, but when it comes to the new course, the counseling course, it's been 10 years. This is 10 years now that you've been back, Dr. Lawrence, and you said, I'm going to bring back this theological training. But why now for the counseling course? Why is this needed in Cayman right now?
Well, it is, I would want to say critical because more and more churches and communities are seeing an increase in persons they encounter who are struggling. They're struggling emotionally, they're struggling psychologically, they're struggling relationally and spiritually. And you spoke earlier about connecting all. And so one of the things we want to ensure is that people understand that we are not one-dimensional, where we actually have 4 dimensions. The Bible talks about the mind, body, and the spirit, and we're also social beings. So this training course will and people will encounter and be able to connect all the dimensions. And so it's important because a lot of times people who are struggling, they don't realize that they are actually experiencing something in the mental health area. They don't realize it's a mental health concern.
Or put it off.
Because of the stigma that's around it, and they think once you hear mental health, you think mental illness. But the reality is we're all on a mental health continuum, and it ranges from being well-adjusted and healthy to being severely mentally impaired. And because we're all on this continuum, and because we're not static beings, we are constantly moving along the continuum. Mm-hmm. And we are affected, or place on the continuum is affected by our circumstances, or stress factors, trauma we experienced, whether in the past or present, or relationships, the support that we have in our lives or lack thereof, and even our regular life events can affect where we are on the continuum. And so it is important that there are people who are equipped to help in those situations. We want to help, especially the churches, to move away from telling people to pray about it or be strong, and to be able to listen with compassion, to assess the situation, to offer support, and to refer people when it's appropriate.
Okay, I like this. Is there any framework or teaching that your program is based upon?
Well, we are a Christian organization, so primarily we focus on the Bible. So we will talk about the role of Scripture, the role of the Holy Spirit. But as I said, we are not one-dimensional, so we can't necessarily use Scripture to address issues that are social or issues that are physical. So we tie the spiritual aspect to the psychological aspect. And so we give people a holistic approach to counseling.
Okay, interesting.
If anybody wants to register for this, you can contact the following numbers.
All right.
Winston Vernon is our administrator.
Okay.
His number is 324-8196. 324-8196. Or they can contact me. My number is 922-3902. 922-3902.
And when will this course start? I know it's September.
It starts in September.
Do you have a date?
September 14th.
The
September
14th. When should registrants be registered by? When should people be registered
once
by?
you register, by paying one-time registration for all the courses, it's $100. And once you are in the program, our administrator will give you the Zoom details and password. You enter into the class. And you will be given, we have prepared a timetable of days and times when we are offering these courses. You will receive a timetable, you receive the Zoom details, and you can...
Are all the sessions on Zoom?
Yes.
They
yes,
are? Okay.
all the classes are on.
And what's the community like on Zoom? The participants?
Yes.
Is it just from Cayman?
right.
What is it? What is that community looking like?
Yeah. As I said, we are not just in Cayman. We started the program in Cayman, but after COVID, when we went on Zoom, we had the opportunity of reaching out to other people, and we have almost 10 nationalities coming into our program, especially from Jamaica, Turks and Caicos,
India.
Tampa, India,
Africa. Well, African countries, right?
So
That's pretty awesome. That's a really amazing reach.
And they all come from their own backgrounds and participate, and there is a good participation also in the class. Even though it is Zoom, they just open their mic and speak.
And very affordable, $100
Yeah.
to register.
$100 for certificate, for registration.
Registration, okay.
And we have the details, $100 for a certificate program, and $100 per subject for a certificate, and $150 for a diploma program.
Per subject.
Each subject.
Per
which
subject.
Is for each subject means for 10 classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 10 classes, you pay just $100 for certificate and $150 for diploma.
Yeah.
And it goes on bachelor's and
It's not
master's.
per class. It's $150 that covers the 10 classes.
10 classes
Okay, that's a really affordable.
Yeah, so $150 per subject.
per subject.
10 classes per subject.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
And we are also,
So it's not just $150.
let me give you an overall picture. We do it in semesters, 3 semesters in a year. And each semester we offer 3 subjects. For
subjects.
example, for counseling, first semester we offer Introduction to Psychology and Counseling Foundations and overview of theology, how theology plays. So that is the first semester. The second semester we have Communication and Life Skills and Counseling Foundations 2 and Introduction to Ethics, which is ethics is a very important part of counseling. And the third semester we have Overview of Other Religions and Cultures and Counseling Foundations 3 and Pastoral Compassionate Counseling. So like this, we have 3 subjects in each semester, and each subject is taught in 10 classes. And for Each subject you pay $150, and then at the end of it, you have the whole course is covered, and you will get a accredited certificate. We are accredited.
So it is accredited.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is internationally accrediting body. So we are offering certificate level with basic certificate programs like Introduction to Old Testament, New Testament, and Gospels, prophets, and evangelism, how to spread the gospel. Those are certificate level. And as I told you, diploma level, we are introducing this new course in counseling. And we have a bachelor's and a master's program. In bachelor's, we give an introduction to Greek language.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And also how to do research methods and write papers and systematic theology. What is theology and what is systematic theology? And in the Gospels, we have first three Gospels who are similar. It is called synoptics. And the fourth Gospel, which is very different, which is called St. John. And we deal with that in one of the as one of the subjects. And as you know, eschatology, apocalypse, end times, and all these things are a big subject now, and we have a course on that. We also have a course on Christology. Christology is theology of Christ, how Christ is both human and divine. And then we have courses like People of God, the whole history of People of God from Genesis till
Today.
the coming times.
Okay.
And there is also a missiology course. Missiology is a theology of missions, how whole missions, world missions, and have gone on, and also pneumatology. Pneumatology is a theology of Holy Spirit. Pneuma means spirit. Pneumatology, theology. Theology is simply a very simple subject where people get it complicated. Theos means God. Logos means word. When you talk about God, it is theology.
Now these
and
are
you
Greek.
are a theologian.
These are Greek words here. Latin.
Yeah,
Latin.
I think
Yes?
sometimes when we hear theologian, people think, oh, it only has to do with academics, those who study it. But I think we all have a theology. Once you think about God, whether you believe there's a God, whether you believe that your God is different from my God, we all have a theology.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
At
absolutely
master's
we do.
level, we give them a course in Hebrew
Okay.
and also a survey of philosophy, starting from Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and the modern philosophers, and how to do research and write a thesis. At master's level, we expect them to write a thesis of about at least 50 pages. And there is a course, again, taught by one of our own students who is now doing, as I said, research methods. And then there is a course on understanding society. How do we understand society? In terms of classification, stratification, all that. And then biblical theology, both Old Testament and New Testament. There is again, continue on research methods. And we have a very interesting course introduced now. One of the subjects is responding to contemporary global issues. Global issues like, why do we have so many wars?
What is going on in society that we're having so many
wars?
wars?
In society? How to understand society?
Yeah.
Economics, politics, ideologies, and also emerging Christian theologies. We have, interestingly, theology is not one subject. We have liberation theology in Latin America. We have women's theology, feminist theology, black theology. And in fact, interestingly, in Asian context, we have rice theology, water buffalo theology, frog theology, things like that. So there are many theologies, and we have expert teachers who are doing all this.
Dr. Lawrence, we have less than a minute. So registration deadline. I asked that earlier, but I don't think you heard me. So what's the registration deadline?
We started the registration right now.
The deadline.
Deadline is we take up
Once
till
you're
from
registered.
first week of September.
Right.
Okay. You
First week of
should
September.
register within the first week
Yes,
of September.
first week of September,
Okay.
because we are starting
The 14th.
classes from the second week of September.
Okay. Okay. got it.
And you can register with Winston Vernon, our administrator. His number is 324-8196. 324-8196. You can also contact me, 922-3902. My number is 922-3902. 3902. We have application forms. We will immediately send you an application. You can register with $100 for all the courses, one-time registration. And we have the details given in the prospectus, as we have flyers, and we also have timetables which will be given to you, all the details.
And come as you are, right? There's no qualifications needed. Just come
as you are, and we will give you the entry-level qualifications.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope a lot of people take up the counseling course. I think that's going to be a great one.
Everyone should apply.
Interesting ones. So many different interesting courses that you're offering as well. So I think it's pretty cool and very affordable. So best of luck with this. And in your 10th year, I hope it goes very well. All right.
Thank you.
No problem at all. We got to go to the 8 a.m. news, and then I will be back with the National Gallery at 8:15.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Yet another fraudulent text message is making the rounds, this time pretending to be from the Cayman Islands Postal Service. Government says the fake text is requesting payment or updated information, stressing that the Postal Service will, quote, never text requesting personal details, payments, or link clicks. If you've been targeted, delete the message, alert your bank, and report it to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. A jury is expected to begin deliberating today in the robbery trial of Shamar Courtney Bethune. Radio Cayman's Jevi Ebanks reports.
Mr. Bethune denies being the person captured on CCTV footage during the robbery of Al Kebab Food Hut on Lawrence Boulevard back in April. Prosecutors say surveillance footage clearly identifies the defendant and have relied on testimony from 2 police detective constables who say they recognized him from the video. The defense argues the identification evidence is not reliable enough to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, noting that features such as height, build, and an unusual gait or walk can be shared by many people. Trial Judge Justice the Honorable Cheryl Richards Casey is expected to complete her directions this morning to the jury before the jury of 4 women and 3 men deliberate their verdict. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
Students, interns, emerging marketers, and industry professionals come together for the inaugural SIMPA Next Gen event, a morning of, quote, learning, mentorship, and meaningful connections. During the event, SIMPA recognized Araceli Matuti Trujillo as the recipient of the association's $10,000 scholarship award.
Very grateful. It was like such a surprise to me, but basically right now I'm studying marketing at the University of Bristol. So yeah, I'm really interested in like having a career in marketing and coming back home after university and like just becoming a professional as well. So this was also just really cool.
The Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association event was designed to support the next generation of marketing talent in the Cayman Islands by providing attendees with direct access to local professionals who are actively building successful careers across the marketing, design, branding, and communication sectors. For more information, head to simpa.ky. In regional news, an employee of the state-owned oil refinery Petrojam in Jamaica has been arrested and charged, facing allegations he was part of a ring that illegally sold bullets and gun parts for high-caliber rifles. The Jamaica Gleaner reports the 52-year-old is a line engineer based at Petrojam's Montego Bay terminal and was apprehended during a sting operation in which the police allegedly found more than 200 rounds of ammunition for AK-47 rifles inside his vehicle. Earlier this week, police reportedly found a pistol, more than 100 additional bullets for AK-47 and M16 rifles, as well as parts for both guns when they searched the man's locker at the Petrojam terminal. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Danielle Yawowiecka. The mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, has told the BBC that Ukraine needs more help from its allies to protect civilians after another intense Russian bombardment overnight. At least 15 people were killed and more than 40 injured. Apartment blocks and a children's hospital were among the buildings hit. A new batch of 70,000 doses of vaccines are being sent to the Democratic Republic of Congo to help contain the Ebola outbreak. The International Coordinating Group on Vaccine Provision says the shipment includes 50,000 doses for frontline workers tackling the fastest spreading outbreak on record. Germany has recorded its highest ever number of heat-related deaths so far this year. 14,000 deaths have so far been linked to the extreme heat wave. The country's Public Health Institute says more than 70% of them occurred in 1 week in late June when temperatures hit 40 Celsius. Maritime security reports say a tanker travelling off the coast of Yemen has been seized by 6 armed men who've diverted it towards Somalia. In recent months, there's been a resurgence of Somali pirate attacks. Israel's defence minister has accused Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of dragging his country into what he called dangerous adventures in Syria. Israel Katz said Israel would not allow any entity to threaten its security. Health officials in Nepal say dengue fever cases have now spread to 74 of the total 77 districts. They warn that the mosquito-borne disease could rise during monsoon season. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
It's that time again, Cayman. The Pursuit of Excellence Foundation invites you to our 8th annual Ready, Set, Learn Back to School event, helping our students start the school year prepared, confident, and ready to achieve. Join us in Grand Cayman on Saturday, August 22nd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Lion Center, and in Cayman Brac on Sunday, August 23rd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ashton Rutty Center. Come out for an afternoon of free school supplies, backpacks, refreshments, fun activities, giveaways, and so much more for students and families. For 8 years, Ready, Set, Learn has been bringing our community together to support Cayman's young people. And this year, we're doing it again.
So parents, bring the kids, spread the word, and come get ready, set, learn.
August 22nd in Grand Cayman and August 23rd in Cayman Brac from 2 to 5 p.m.
Presented by Pursuit of Excellence, the Lloyd Barker Foundation.
Empowering our youth, supporting our families, pursuing excellence together.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate dry and stable conditions will prevail across the Cayman Islands over the next 12-hour period before moisture associated with a tropical wave gradually moves into the area. Moderate winds will become generally gentle as the pressure gradient slackens across the northwestern Caribbean. Seas will remain slight to moderate, and radar imagery show no significant activity across the Cayman area. Forecast for today calling for fair to partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-90s today with a heat index of 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy with cloudy spells and a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures dipping to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will be this morning at 10:21, high tide this evening at 6:17. The sun will set this evening at 6:48 and will rise tomorrow morning at 8 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for an increase in the chance of showers as a tropical wave moves across the western Caribbean on Friday. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britgay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britgay, where people come first.
Sports. Stay up to date on your sports news with Radio Cayman Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's all about sports.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's check in with traffic, see what's slowing, what's flowing. Steady traffic coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway. Slight delays expected. And continuing on to North Sound Road. Industrial Avenue is looking at a moderate pace. And looking to the east on Shamrock Road, traffic flowing moderately in both directions. And further down as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, steady but flowing traffic. On Cool Road, traffic is moving pretty good in both directions. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, a little steady but nothing to worry about traffic. And coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway and Agnes Way, moving at a moderate pace. Shedden Road into Georgetown, not looking too bad. 8wood Street, light to moderate traffic flow, as well as Owen Roberts Drive, and coming from the West Bay four-way stop. Turn our attention to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz. Traffic heading towards the West Bay area is moving at a moderate pace, and heading towards Georgetown, traffic moving freely. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 15 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Need a spark? Then Subway's new Ghost Pepper Bread's got just what you need. Amp up your lunch with its smoky Ghost Pepper blend and spicy jalapeno topping on your favorite sub. Or in our two new recipes, Subway's new Ghost Pepper Spicy Chicken and Ghost Pepper Spicy Steak subs, made with crispy onions, jalapenos, and a zesty chipotle sauce. Now that's one way to turn up the heat. Get it for a limited time before it's gone. Subway's new Ghost Pepper Bread, coming in hot. Only at Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
Radio Cayman News.
Cayman's leaders issued drafting instructions to amend the Tax Information Authority Act.
You know, we're talking about at least 8 endemic species of plant to the Cayman Islands.
Parliament is set to reconvene next month.
We still await the court's ruling on that application for leave.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week. The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And on this segment, we're going to be talking about one of our most treasured cultural institutions, and that's the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. We are joined by Maia Muttoo. She's the head of programs at the National Gallery. We're going to be talking about some of the exhibitions, the family programs, an after-school program that they have that I think is pretty amazing, community outreach, some upcoming events, and everything behind the scenes at the gallery. So let's begin. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Very good. I'm happy to have you on because you and I haven't had our own one-on-one discussion yet as you being part of the gallery. Mm. And before we begin with the gallery, I'd love for you to share who you are with our listeners, a little bit about your professional background and how you joined the gallery.
Sure, yeah. I never know where to start when I get asked this question. I grew up in a very creative and cultural family. So I think even my childhood context was sort of filled with culture and creativity. for Cayman and the region as well. When I went to university, I studied history for my undergrad degree, and that was it was quite broad history, but I would say it focused mostly on the sort of early colonial periods of the Caribbean and North America. Okay. I was really interested in that kind of world and a lot of the complexities in that space and how it shaped our current reality. Then when I did my master's degree, I studied cultural and creative industries, and that was more of a broad look at the overall industry of creativity and culture. Things like, interpreting visual art, policy with culture and creativity. So it's quite a mixed bag of different things that you can look at within that sphere. Personally, I've been really interested in, I think just a lot of us talk about this when we talk about our work, is storytelling, how we communicate a story to a broader audience. And I think that's a major part of my work as head of programs and within my department, but the gallery in general, is how we tell the story of Cayman's history and culture and heritage to our very diverse public. I hope that gives you a little idea.
It does.
I don't know if that answered the question.
I think that was beautifully answered, actually. Yeah, and you absolutely did grow up in a very creative household. Mm-hmm. Was that for you any sense of pressure that I've got to go into a kind of a creative journey, a creative career?
No, I wouldn't say it was pressure. I think it was just intrinsic. Maybe it just felt very natural to me. My family background was more sort of theater and performing arts. Definitely a lot of cultural criticism as well, and cultural critique and the academic side of culture. But definitely, I think it just felt like something that made sense. So when I was going to look at what to study or what I wanted my career to be centered around, it made sense for me to pursue that as a vocation.
That makes sense.
In addition to being a personal interest.
Yeah, it makes sense, because usually it's the flip side that children are more kind of pressured to go into professional services of some sort, whether it's in law or finance, right?
Yeah.
In Cayman, at least. So I was interested to know, okay, but you're more from a creative family, so is it, we want to see you blossom in the arts per se, right? So intrinsically, it makes sense that it is something that you grew up with. I feel like a lot of us did grow up with some creative aspects in our life, whether our parents wanted us to go down that road or not, right? So, and different cultures always might demand a different kind of career from their child per se.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think everybody's experience is so different with this. Yeah. Some families really encourage you to take the route that they took. Some encourage you to do something completely different. Yep. I'm very lucky to be from a family that is super supportive and encouraging for whatever your future should look, you would like your future to look like, I suppose. So yeah, I was very lucky to have that route open to me.
Your master's degree is very interesting to me, because I haven't heard somebody with that kind of a master's program that you took. So it was creative and...
Cultural and creative industries.
Cultural and creative industries. I think that's fascinating. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, how are you hoping to apply that to Cayman and what you've learned?
That's a
big question.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the cultural and creative industries in Cayman, we're definitely seeing a bit of a renaissance at the moment. I think there is a lot of growth that's happening right now. When I went and did my degree in, I'm not going to say what year that was.
It's all right.
Partly because I don't remember, and partly because I'm not aging myself on the radio right now. But there wasn't, I think the sector was still burgeoning at that time. It was still really kind of coming up. So I was interested in understanding how the field looked from a kind of a bird's eye view. I did my degree in the UK in London, so obviously that's a little bit removed from our Cayman context, but there's still a lot of applicable information that you could apply to different cultural settings, I suppose. So it was just interesting for me to see the different, I guess, how would I put this? The different categories, I suppose, the different lenses that you could look at this field through.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was things like, again, how we interpret and represent visual culture, policy, running a small business in the cultural and creative industries. It was really broad. So it looked at all of these different lenses and buckets that you could view the industry from.
That's very interesting. Mm-hmm. But I love that you studied it, because you are in Cayman. This is pretty much what you're working in.
Yeah, yeah.
And who knows the kind of processes and systems that you could kind of introduce in a way that could help this industry thrive, the creative industry thrive?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting degree program, or even just an interesting thing to study for, even if you're not intending to go into culture and creative industries as your profession. It's also interesting just to look at it as someone who's personally interested in it, because it gives you a better perspective on what we actually do in galleries and museums, if you're at all interested in the behind the scenes of these things. Because I think sometimes when you're not working in an industry, you can have a very generalized view of what that looks like, and it just helps you to see the nuance a little bit more, I suppose.
So break that down. So we know we have the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. It's also a very beautiful space, but a lot of us might think, okay, it's just a place where we go in and look at art, but there's much more to it. So really the whole purpose behind the National Gallery, the mission, break it down for us.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So I think the word gallery can be a little bit confusing sometimes, because really the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands is an art museum. And museums and galleries are a little bit different when we talk about the definitions of those terms.
I would have mixed them together.
Yeah, so a lot of people do assume that the National Gallery is commercial, in terms of, a lot of galleries you go into, they'll be representing artists. So, a gallery might take a certain commission of what an artist makes from selling an artwork. We don't function like that. We're actually more of an art museum. So if you look at something like, the Metropolitan Museum of Art or MoMA or something like that, our function is really to exhibit and to educate on these works.
Okay.
So our mission is the promotion and appreciation of art of and in the Cayman Islands. So we look at Caymanian art, people who are Caymanian born and raised, people who have lived in Cayman for a number of years and are representing Cayman through their work, diasporic artists as well. So it's really everything that is based in the Cayman Islands is what we represent at the gallery. And then on top of that, it's a really holistic education and program wing as well that works to create public engagement with that art and with the stories that art is telling.
Okay.
That's a very simple version of what we do.
But which is also a big part of what you're doing, though, that storytelling and that connecting people.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when it comes to what you've seen with the gallery through the years and art, some places would say, man, that art is, I can tell where that art is coming from, or that style was born there. Like, I think, am I right to say like Cubanism, for example, if that's like a form that's like in Cuba? There's another form that's very close to that. I don't know what it is. I forget what I've studied.
Yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah.
But is there anything in Cayman that you've seen through the years that maybe the artists here have adopted a particular style that you would say that's a Caymanian touch, or I can tell a Caymanian artist did that? Is there any kind of style or medium that artists in Cayman are leaning towards that you're seeing?
Ooh, I think what we're really lucky with in Cayman is the breadth of the work that artists are creating. I mean, it is such a wide range. We have everything from mixed media with textile to very contemporary painting that's very abstract. We have craft work, both traditional and contemporary, and then the intersection of traditional and contemporary. We have ceramic work. We have, everything you can think of really does exist here. So it's hard to say that there's one style I can think of that is that I would define Cayman by in terms of our creative production. I will say, there are obviously traditional art forms that are very iconically Caymanian. So things like the thatch, for example, is iconically Caymanian. A lot of people will consider that to be, or may consider that, I won't say will, may consider that to be like utilitarian only. So obviously thatch was initially created as a practical object, right? These baskets, these hats that could be used for everyday productivity within the Cayman Islands and served an economic purpose, but really are objects of creative excellence and beauty in and of themselves. Everybody who was creating thatch put their own individual touch on it in terms of the artistry. And when you just think about the complexity of making a thatch basket, it's incredible what they were able to do with this very raw material that came from the land, and how they were able to look at what was around them in the landscape and transform that into these objects of beauty and purpose. So thatch definitely is a very iconic part of Cayman's cultural story. And we actually have a craft exhibition that's going to be coming up at the end of this year called Cayman Makers that we're really excited about, which will include many different forms of craft, but also thatch as part of that.
Very cool. That's very interesting. Yeah. What is going on right now at the gallery? What's the current exhibitions that you guys are showing?
So much. There's so much going on.
All right.
So our current temporary exhibition in the lower exhibition hall in our Esther Lee Tibbetts location, which is the main gallery space, that is called Medium, the Materiality of Making. And Medium is a show that really goes back to the foundations of art making. So it goes back to things like form, color, line, these sort of elemental parts of the art making journey, and then how artists are using that in their practice. So in the line section, we look at something like drawing, where you take, the very simple act of a pencil being in your hand or a piece of charcoal being in your hand, and you make one arc on the page or one line segment on the page, and your hand sort of flows, and where that goes, you start with a very simple line and it can become a whole story. I like to do this exercise when we bring kids through, where we talk about how you can show emotion through a line. And sometimes we'll ask them, what is a line that shows you that you're excited? Do you have
what do they come up with? No, I'm like, would it be like it goes crazy up and down and like high peaks and
yeah, sometimes we get that. Definitely. I think that's a very valid answer. For me, it's an exclamation point. It's one long line with a dot at the end.
There's that, yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them work, right? And again,
I must sound very excited in all my emails then.
You're drawing like a whole like parabola at the end of your
There's a lot of exclamation.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think, and then we look at things like color and emotional expression through color. What does blue make us feel, or yellow make us feel? And
there's color psychology.
Yeah.
Right. In which I learned a little bit about. So it's interesting to me when you do learn about what colors mean and how it can affect you, your mood, or your appetite. For example, like Subway's main color is yellow. Yellow is supposed to be like hunger-inducing.
Really?
Whereas blue doesn't make you want to eat. So when people have their kitchens painted blue, this is the weirdest thing that I learned. Like, you rarely will see blue in kitchens. It's like appetite suppressing.
I'm so happy that the Radio Cayman logo that is facing me right now is blue and not yellow.
And we both have our breakfast sitting.
Exactly.
So it's interesting that the things you learn about like color theory.
Yeah, it's so true. And we actually have a little glass case that has artist sketchbooks in it, some of C.E. Whitney's sketchbooks, where she tested all of these different color swatches. So you get, in the exhibition, you get almost a behind the scenes look at the process that an artist works through as well when they're determining what colors and shapes they're interested in using to tell whatever story they're looking at on the page or in the sculpture, et cetera, et cetera. We have a form section that looks at sculptural work. So that, again, that includes some craft objects. So there's ceramic work in there, there's thatch work in there. There is like wooden sculpture, there's Caymanite sculpture.
That's cool.
Yeah. We have a section called Field, which looks at sort of the relationships between object and space. So thinking about your body in space, or how this coffee mug relates to the table it's on, or my hand moving around this coffee mug.
I feel
if
like
you're listening on the radio,
there.
You can't see the coffee mug,
Yeah.
but you can imagine it.
It's a very pretty 50th anniversary mug for those who want to imagine it.
Yes. And then we have a section on digital media as well. So the sort of new era of creative production that we're seeing that involves more technology now as well. So it's a really fascinating show where you can really think about all the different mediums that artists are working in and how material is so integral to the creative process.
I love it. Very interesting, especially the form section of that show, because I feel like you need to be in the space to really understand what you're describing right here.
Yeah, I love that section too. And it's actually helped me to do my own adult learning as well, because we go in there with kids and we talk about, shapes versus forms and 2D shapes versus 3D shapes. And we're talking about dimensions and spheres and cubes and all of these words that I haven't really thought about since I was 8 years old, probably.
Well, I'm like, what's the difference here with shapes and forms? Because again, I'm thinking those are very similar. Like I would merge those.
Yeah,
They're synonyms to me almost.
Yeah, well, forms sort of have more dimension. So you're looking at things like height, width, breadth. Like you're able to sort of move around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to it is
Whereas
round
a shape
or
could
square.
be, like a circle.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But then the form could be a sphere.
Yeah.
Per se. Okay.
If there are math teachers listening, please call in and correct us if we're completely incorrect.
But, this is our creative arts brain speaking right now. So the logical part is not going to kick in. It's logical to us. We're going to take a quick commercial break right now, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes to learn more about what the National Gallery has going on.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power just to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Grand Cayman, the Paramount Carpet Summer Sale is back. 3 days only. Thursday, August 20th through Saturday, August 22nd. Save big with 25% off in-stock carpet and tile, plus 50% off select products in store. Don't miss the biggest sale of the summer at Paramount Carpet, 317 North Sound Road, Industrial Park. Visit our showroom, open Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 7:30 to 2 p.m. Paramount Carpet Summer Sale, August 20th through August 22nd. Love the savings. Love your home.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpet.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about the National Gallery Cayman Islands with Head of Programs, Maia Muttoo. And she just gave us an intro into what she was studying, how she came to the National Gallery, how she's able to help tell all the stories through Cayman, through the different art and artists that they exhibit at the National Gallery, and helping connect people to the Cayman Islands. And we learned about the exhibitions, especially the one right now called Medium on the Esterly Tibbetts floor, correct? That's the main exhibition hall, per se. And that was the main exhibition you said you have going on. So there's a couple of other ones.
Yeah, so we really try to decentralize as much as we can. So we have the National Gallery building on the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, which is our sort of main campus, as it were, which has medium, as you mentioned. We also have an upstairs floor, which is called Evolutions right now. That show is a national collection show, and it really explores. It's almost an art historical or loosely art historical approach to Caymanian creativity. So looking at everything from sort of early practitioners and intuitive artists through to very contemporary work. And that space changes probably about once a year, once every 2 years. The downstairs space with medium that we spoke about is about 3 exhibitions per year.
Okay.
And then we also have a Dart auditorium space at that location, and those tend to be more community-based shows or solo shows by emerging artists. Right now, the exhibition in that space is the Walker's Art Club After School Program show, which could be a great segue into Walker's Art Club. But
we'll take it.
We also have a couple other satellite locations that we work with as well. So we have exhibition spaces in Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, and then a couple other spaces across Grand Cayman too. So we have a show on at the Government Admin Building, at HSA. So there's a couple other spaces where you can see National Gallery projects as well.
Okay, I love it. I've definitely seen Government Building for sure.
Yeah.
So I like to see that. I can't remember if I've seen it at HSA. I'm gonna have to peel my eyes and look for that there.
Yeah, they're both photography shows at the moment.
Nice.
At both spaces.
And I love that you do have something as well on the Sister Islands. So for Little Cayman and the Brac. The Brac I feel gets love, but not Little Cayman enough. So I love that you do have something in Little Cayman too.
Yeah, of course. I think that's essential. It's essential. We're a national institution, and it's really important to ensure that all 3 islands are represented within that. So we work with Little Cayman Museum in Little Cayman, and then in Cayman Brac we have shows at the Heritage House and at Brac Reef Resort.
Okay, lovely. The featured artists that are part of Medium or within the Evolution space right now, can you tell us who they are, featured artists and Caymanian artists?
Yes, there's quite a few, so I will probably not be able to name all of them off the top
no
of my head. But I can throw out a couple names that people might be familiar with. Simon Tatum, who is a younger Caymanian artist in his late 20s, early 30s now, I believe, who is has had quite an interesting journey. Sorry, I'm like half the instant coffee in, so I'm stuttering a little bit.
I need about 4 a day in the morning before I start. I get it.
Yeah. He's had quite an interesting journey. He sort of went from really traditional drawing and then moved into ceramics, and now is working in this sort of mixed media approach using projection and layering. Really interesting. So we have 2 of his works in the show. One is quite a traditional like figure study, and the second one is this beautiful paper work that really like falls off the wall, and you'll have to go and see it in person to see what I mean by that. But it's a beautiful layered paper piece that sort of cascades off of the wall that it's on, and really helps you to think about line, because you're thinking about where your eye is directed with all of the lines that he's using in this work.
Is there movement in it?
I
or
would
like
say
a sense of...
There's a sense of movement.
Interesting.
There's a sense of movement. It almost feels like a waterfall to me.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely have to check that out.
It's beautiful work.
So that's one of the artists?
That's one of the artists. We also had the iconic Bendel Hydes represented through some of his abstract work, some of his more expressionistic work, very color rich in that color section, which is really exciting. We have some of Horacio Esteban's Caymanite sculpture. Al Ebanks has a beautiful installation work that's all made using thatch rope. That's in that field section that I talked about, which explores the relationship between object and space and body and space. Brandon Saunders, who's another younger Caymanian artist working in digital media. So he has these, I don't even know what to call them, these sort of video works where he's used material objects like textiles, but then input them into this software, into this video format, including music that he's produced himself. It's a really interesting layered project.
Okay.
We have Kendra Adore, who's working in the technological and digital space as well. So there's many different names across the exhibition. I can't name them all. I wish that I could off the top of my head. But there's, lots of fascinating artists to see.
I think what sticks out to me in the last few that you've described have all been, they're working in digital spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So when you spoke about you're seeing more artists emerging in that space, that's growing in Cayman.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about digital and technology too is that it's new, but it's not new in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think throughout history, there's always been artists who are experimenting with whatever the newest form of technology is. Now we obviously have forms of technology like AI or like digital animation or digital drawing, so that are more sort of computer-based technologies. So it's interesting seeing how people explore new technology across time as well, and how people collaborate with other artists or with technologies across time.
What's your perspective on the use of AI when it comes to art creation?
Well, I can't speak to my perspective. I can say that I do think that, again, there are plenty of examples throughout history where artists are collaborating with something else, whether that's another person or whether that is a collective of other people or whether that is a different form of technology like screen printing or digital animation or whatever it is. I do think that we are representing artists in the practice that they're doing, and we're representing Caymanian voices however they're choosing to work.
Okay, I feel you on that. Yeah, I wanted to know your perspective on the use of AI when it comes to creating art, because a lot of it's happening. I look at myself, who does not have, when people are like, I don't have a green thumb when it comes to gardening. I don't have whatever that thumb is that the artists might have. I wish I did. I tried to do all sorts of courses and all the rest when I was younger.
Fair.
It's just not in me.
That's fair. And
So
you know what? I always say to people, because we get that a lot, like, people who are like, oh, I'm not an artist. But I always say to people that it might be that you haven't found your medium yet. Your medium.
Mm-hmm.
Yet. So
Yes,
I have to call back to the exhibition. Because there's so many different forms of creativity. I mean, what you're doing right now is artistry.
Yeah.
The ability to have an interesting conversation with someone is actually really difficult.
It's very
difficult. Being able to field conversation like that is an art form.
People with stories and what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, drawing is not for them. Working with charcoal is not for them, but they're really, really proficient with acrylic paint or oil paint, or they struggle with something that is, limited to just your wrist, as it were, like drawing or painting, but they're great with something really tactile like ceramics.
Right.
So for me, I always say to people to just experiment with lots of different forms of creativity, and those could be mixed creativity. So you could work in visual art and in dance. You could work in theater and in music. So just combine things and see where your creative voice comes out, but everybody has it in them. It's impossible to be human and not have some kind of creative capacity.
Oh, I completely am with you on that. 100%. I agree. I just might not be a painter per se, but there's definitely different creative elements in me at least. Okay, so we know who some of the Caymanian artists are and the other residents that are featured at the gallery right now. And when it comes to actually curating, putting things together, are you a part of that process as well?
So I'm part of the programs team, which sort of oversees the exhibitions process, but I'm not a curator.
Okay.
So we do have a couple curators on our team. Natalie Urquhart, who's our director, is our chief curator. So you'll see a lot of shows that she'll be curating. She is curating our craft show at the end of the year as well. Medium was curated by William Helfrecht, who's our collections manager. And he has curated quite a few shows throughout the gallery's history as well. So if anyone remembers Poppin' the Popular, that was a pop art show that we did a couple of years back. Will also curated that show. He did 81 Degrees West. I believe he curated Alchemy as well. So there's been a couple of shows that he's done. We also work with guest curators as well. So Carrie Ann Chisholm, who is a name people may know through her artist work, but also her curatorial work. Her work through Graham Bella's in Northside, which is a community space that she runs up in Northside.
Listen, when I first mentioned that, I had no idea what it was. I was like, what is this? The word that I can't say that's like a part of turtle that somebody doesn't always want? You know the word that I'm saying.
Malevolence?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, my friend taught me the word the other day.
Kerwin's
Susan,
show.
everybody else heard me say the word. Nobody corrected me. My friend had to be like, Kathy, this is how you say it. And then she told me, the origin of that word. And I was like, I've never heard it before. It was so interesting to me. I've never made it to the Graham Bella space, but I really, really wanted to. But I was so fascinated by it. It seemed really, really cool.
Yeah, that was a very cool show. Kerwin Ebanks, working a lot with found objects, repurposed objects, thinking about recycling and sustainability a lot in his work. But yeah, we work with Carrie quite frequently. She's fantastic. We also worked with guest curators for our most recent biennial project. So we worked with Joseph Underwood and Davin Ebanks for that project. So in addition to internal curators, we also work with a lot of guests as well. And every curator brings a different vision for the show, a different voice, and it's always exciting to see how they're going to shape what something becomes.
Right. I love it.
Yeah.
But you're head of programs, so we're
Mhm.
going to turn to the programs. And I know we mentioned the Walker's after school art program.
Yeah.
We got to take a quick commercial break, so let's turn to the programs and what you're trying to do with that once we return from the break.
Let's do it.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
As Minister for Health, Environment and Sustainability, I'd like to personally invite you to join me at one of our upcoming public town hall meetings. We're discussing proposed changes to legislation covering environmental health, tobacco and vaping, public health, health practice, and I want to hear from you. Whether you have questions, concerns, or ideas to share, these meetings are an opportunity for open conversation about issues that affect us all. Join us at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 26th of August at the John Gray Memorial Church Hall in Westby, or at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 27th of August at Constitutional Hall in Georgetown. Come out, meet your neighbors, share your perspective, and be a part of shaping the future of health in our islands. Light refreshments will be available, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Cayman Brack, Cayman First is celebrating you. This Friday, August 21st, head to Cayman First at Colonel Center for a Customer Appreciation Day filled with giveaways, refreshments, and fun for everyone. Spin the prize wheel for your chance to win and take advantage of exclusive insurance offers available for one day only. Come down, say hello, and join the fun. Cayman First will be there all day, celebrating the community we're proud to serve. Cayman First, first for what matters the most.
Looking for a station that plays the music you actually love?
Switch now. The Breeze 105.3 FM.
The best adult contemporary hits
Of the 70s, 80s,
and more. All day, every day. Feel good. Sing along and let the breeze keep you company.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we're talking about the National Gallery Cayman Islands. And in studio with me, I have Head of Programs, Maia Muttoo. And now we're going to be talking about some of the programs. I mean, you are Head of Programs, so that's what we want to learn about. But in this position, I would like to know what your, I guess, biggest desire, what you really want to achieve in this position as Head of Programs with the National Gallery. Because that's a pretty big,
oh my God,
it's a pretty big position, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's a big responsibility, I want to say.
Yeah, it is.
A good one to have.
It is. With great responsibility comes great, what is it? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
My greatest desire for this, I think it is allowing everybody in the community, people from very diverse backgrounds, people who might not necessarily always see a place for themselves in visual art or in the arts, finding ways for everybody to engage with these stories and find some kind of personal connection to them. When you see someone who doesn't have the kind of, background in culture in the arts that I do or that we do, come in and have a really powerful emotional reaction to something because that feels like it sees something in them. For me, that's really important, because everybody deserves those spaces of safety. Everybody deserves those spaces where they can feel represented and understood and seen, even if they don't know the artist, they don't really understand what they're looking at, but there's something in it that says to them, I see you. That's really important for me, and I think our work hopefully helps to facilitate that for people, not just through standing and looking at an artwork, but through creating these really meaningful experiences of engagement with the art more generally, I would say.
Okay, I love that. Okay. All right, now, it's a great feeling to have and a great goal to work towards. Mm-hmm. And as you said, when you see that change that can come over somebody that might be impacted by what they're looking at or how they've taken in a piece of art, mm-hmm. that's a part of you that okay, something just came alive in that person.
Yeah.
And you never know what that next kind of cycle of life will be from mm-hmm. that first experience. So I get it. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So you are helping with this happen, especially with the younger generation, with the Walkers After School program. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the Walkers Art Club After School program is a really long-running program. I think it's been about 25 years now. Very generously sponsored by Walkers, which allows us to offer this as a free program, which is, we can't overstate.
Hard to come by.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's an after-school art club for children from age 5 through 17. We have a couple of different age units. So we go from foundation to primary to secondary to teens. And in these classes, they're learning everything from very foundational art skills like cutting and pasting and color matching to things like portfolio development, portraiture, working with different types of mediums. We do ceramics a lot too. So they're getting to experiment with a lot of different techniques and mediums. But it's also special because it's open to every school, children of all abilities. So children are really getting to make friends with people that they might not have met otherwise, and which is really, really exciting and special.
I love that.
Yeah. You see, a kid from Georgetown Primary and they've made friends with someone from Prep or from Bodentown or whatever it is. And it's great to be able to offer that space where kids can socialize and interact and make new friends and have fun while also learning something really exciting.
And doing something that they very much likely love.
Yeah, exactly. Doing an enjoyable activity too. Yeah. They're also learning about Caymanian artists and culture at the same time. They make visits to the exhibition hall. They learn about artists that are in our collection or in the current exhibitions. And then we'll often create work that is inspired by those pieces. Sometimes we have guest artists come in and visit and chat with the students. So yeah, it's a really exciting program, and there's a reason why it's so popular and so well loved. We are actually opening registration for next year's program on Friday, the 21st.
For next year's program?
Yes. Well, 2026 into 2027, next school year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we run from September to June, so it follows the school year calendar. We follow the government school year calendar, so that's when we take our Christmas breaks and our Easter breaks and things. But we have registration opening on Friday, the 21st at 9 a.m. And I say 9 a.m. because it's exactly at 9 a.m. We can't open it any earlier than that, even though we get a lot of requests.
Because at 9:05 it will be
at 9:03 it will be sold out. Yeah, we fully subscribed. But we do operate a wait list throughout the year. So even if you don't get a placement immediately, there is opportunity to have a space come up later on through the year.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think it just shows how popular that program is.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
If you have a wait list for it.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been really lucky to have produced something that is so well loved, and I think the feedback that we've gotten from kids and parents definitely shows that it's something people want.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. It's a great thing to have your child in. So it's a good program. Events that are coming up with the National Gallery, because I know you got a couple on the horizon.
Yeah, we got lots going on. So we're actually starting a series called Stories in Art, which we're doing in a collaboration with the public libraries. And we will we'll be going to different library locations throughout the next couple of weeks. From next week, Tuesday, we start in Bodentown, and then we go through to the end of September. And that program, we're doing art activities inspired by local books, which will be really exciting.
Oh, cool. Because we've had a slew of local authors come, especially for children's books, which I love to see.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So that starts next week, Tuesday in Bodentown. And you can find all the information on our website as well if you're interested in the dates for the different district venues. So we have that's coming up. We also have a family fun day this weekend on Saturday, and that's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll have breezeway activities. We'll have a studio art activity, sort of inspired by the currently very hot sun.
It's too close to us right now.
Yes. But so we have those two events sort of coming up the most immediately. Well, those three events. So Walker's Art Club registration, Stories in Art, and Family Fun Day are the three family-centered events. For adults, we have a ceramics course with Yonir Powery, who is an incredible ceramicist.
Yeah,
People will likely know his name.
He's been on the show a few times. Yeah, we have great conversations with him. So he's a huge talent.
Yeah.
An incredible talent, and I think if you have a ceramics or sculpting class with him,
take advantage of
it.
If you're listening and you want to do this.
Honestly, I was looking at it, and I already told everybody that I can't even draw a line. So, but sculpture is different,
and
ceramics
also
is different. So
he's a great teacher too. So even if you're not fully confident with ceramics, he's going to break it down for people that are beginners or maybe not as confident with their ceramic skill. So the first session will be actually building, and we're hand building. So he's going to be making green sea turtles. But Yonir has this really interesting style of sort of building things on the shell of the turtle. So he's going to add some additional elements on top of those shells that'll make them quite surreal and interesting to look at.
Okay.
So the first day is going to be building that, hand building. The second day will be glazing it. And then the third day will be return of the artwork, but also a sort of feedback and critique session with Yonir, which I think is such a valuable thing to actually get feedback and critique on your work and your process from somebody who's an expert in their craft.
I would skip that part. He would be like, Kathy, this might not be for you. I'm teasing him.
Or you might say the opposite.
Right.
You might be like, Kathy, it's your calling.
Yes.
So that's going to be really cool. So all the details again are on our website for that, on our social media.
Is it free? Is there a cost for it?
That is a paid course. That is a cost,
Okay.
because there's material costs and everything that come with it.
I am looking at that one. Nails and all.
We look
I don't
forward
care
to
if my
seeing
nails
you
are going to
there.
be in the way. I'm
Well, your
looking at
nails
that
would
one for
create
sure.
some nice texture in the clay, actually.
Well, there you go. Say yes. Thank you.
Yeah, so there's lots coming up on the calendar. I always encourage people just check out our website, nationalgallery.org.ky, and you can find all the details there, or on our social media, which is at NatGalCayman.
Okay. Well, we only got about a minute left. So in only a minute left, how would you like to see the National Gallery develop? Especially with you there as head of programs. Well, how would you like to see in the next few years?
I honestly love what we're doing.
That's great.
And I know that maybe sounds like a cop-out answer,
No.
but
I think that's great.
Yeah, I feel privileged to work with the team that I work with, even the guests that we have that come in. I'm actually getting emotional, Kathy. That's crazy.
I get emotional. So don't look at me, because then we'll all start crying.
I feel privileged to work with our team, and the passion that everybody has for their work, and getting to do what we do is really exciting. I'm excited to see the exhibitions that are coming. I think there's some really exciting things. I keep saying exciting, but there's a lot of really interesting things that are coming up on the horizon. We'll have another biennial to do sooner than we know it. And yeah, I just think, I'm just excited to see what we do next and more of what we're currently doing to even better levels.
Awesome. I think you guys are doing an amazing job there. National Gallery and the National Cultural Foundation, for me, I think you guys are doing phenomenal jobs out there. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, honestly, nothing but wonderful things to say about all of our sister organizations as well. Yeah. The museum's doing incredible things right now, too. The National Trust is doing great things. So, yeah, it's just really, really exciting to see everybody growing and developing and creating these amazing opportunities for engagement with the community.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on The Buzz and updating us and letting us know what's going on, especially exhibition-wise, and the fact that people can register this Friday is the opening for the registration for the Walkers After School program. You have a family fun day on Saturday. We have for the adults, we have the ceramics making class with Yunira Powery. I am definitely looking at that because I would like to learn a little bit, and I know he's a great person, so I would definitely learn a lot there. So I think you got a lot going on. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you. We'll have you back on soon again. Yep. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I'll be back with you just a few minutes after that.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Little libraries are now in Georgetown South. The little libraries are stocked and ready for the community. The idea is simple. Take a book, leave a book. You can find the Little Library at Windsor Park Playground, Walker's Road near Berger King, Consuelos Beach, and Olympic Way. In international news, at least 13 people have been killed and 40 injured in the latest Russian strikes targeting the Ukrainian capital, as Kyiv continues to face a shortage of air defense missiles. The State Emergency Service of Ukraine says apartment blocks and warehouses were struck across the city overnight, while a children's hospital and school were also damaged. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the deaths were the result of a shortage of air defense missiles, which Kyiv relies on Western allies to supply. Speaking to the BBC at a wrecked apartment block in Kyiv, the mayor said Ukraine needed ammunition, anti-missile systems, and, quote, support from our partners. And BBC News understands the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are planning to move back to the United Kingdom. Prince Harry and Meghan intend to relocate from the U.S. later this month to a private non-royal residence outside London, as first reported by the Daily Telegraph and The Sun. The couple's children, Prince Archie, 7, and Prince Lilibet, 5, are enrolled to start at a British school in September. King Charles was told of the move on Sunday. There are no current plans for either Prince Harry or Meghan to resume their roles as working royals. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
HSA's orthopedic clinic has relocated to the second floor of the Smith Road Medical Center. Our dedicated team of highly skilled orthopedic surgeons treat conditions ranging from spine to ankle injuries in adult and pediatric patients. We offer minimally invasive procedures from ligament reconstruction to hip and knee replacement. If you have experienced an injury due to sports or day-to-day activities, call 949-8600 and schedule an appointment with HSA's orthopedic clinic, now located at the Smith Road Medical Center.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And on this segment of the show, we're going to be talking about an area that affects many families and often goes misunderstood. And we're going to be talking about something that I've never heard about either. And this is about a feeding therapist, what a feeding therapist is. So we're going to be talking about feeding challenges, picky eating, problem with eating or problem feeding, and the broader communication needs of neurodivergent children. So in studio with me is Lexi Berger from Strive Therapy. She is a speech therapist, audiologist, and as I said, I have never heard of this term before. A feeding therapist. I feel like I might need one. Good morning, Lexi, and welcome to The Buzz. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. Thank you. And you. Thank you so much for having me.
No
Really
problem at
excited to be
all.
here.
So I think your background is interesting. You're a speech therapist, so I know what speech therapy is about, an audiologist as well.
Correct.
So I don't know exactly this, and a feeding therapist. Please describe us these careers.
Okay, so I'm a speech therapist and audiologist by profession. Me and my partner, Alison, we are both speech therapists and audiologists. So we have a dual degree, which actually gives us a unique perspective of understanding speech and language and communication as a whole, because speech and hearing are very linked. But feeding therapy is, thank you very much. Feeding therapy is something that is an area that's speech therapists deal with, but it is an area that I have done a lot of further training and certification and work in that area. It is a very interesting area because it affects so many people, pediatrics and adults alike, and it's one of the most common problems that I actually get clients in to come to speak to me about is my child won't eat. Why? What is going on? It's very layered, it's very complex, it's very multifaceted, and often requires a multidisciplinary, multi-team approach. Feeding therapy helps people eat when they can't. It's getting to the why won't they eat, solving that problem, and then doing the therapy based on that.
Oh, I really actually might need a feeding therapist. Just based on my last year alone here. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
How did you get into this career? What drew you into this?
I have always... I love being on the stage. I actually I got a scholarship to become to go to a performing arts school. I used to love being on the stage and presenting and communicating and singing and dancing, but I also loved helping people, and I wanted to kind of, still be my extroverted self but help people, and that naturally led me into speech therapy, which is basically helping others communicate and using my strengths of loving communicating and loving speaking to people and being super extroverted and
expressive.
And helping other people find their voice. It gives me great joy. That's kind of how I got into it. I always wanted to help people, but I wanted to talk a lot.
That's why I love. People won't always admit that, but I love that, and just that you do want to just help people out there.
Yes.
And help other people communicate.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Help people find their voice.
Correct.
That's what stood out to me when you said that.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And one of the things we do as speech therapists, I mean, it's sometimes I call myself a jack of all trades, master of none, because in a day there are so many things I could be doing. In the morning I'm seeing an adult with Parkinson's, and then I'm helping an adult voice patient, going to a school, supporting a child with autism to be able to regulate and communicate in the classroom, then going on to help a child who won't eat, then going on to help do literacy. It's the profession
diverse.
Is so varied, so diverse, and that's also why I have done a lot of extra certifications within feeding, because we don't get the correct training or in our degree, because feeding is so complex. You actually have to do more work into it. I just came back from Berger, where I did a specialized internship at the Pediatric Feeding Institute, because I want to bring services to Cayman that we otherwise perhaps don't have for the Cayman community. And I went to one of the best places that exists that is really in real time helping children who just won't eat. So I do a lot of my own further education to be able to hopefully really provide a good service here that often we're sending off island to go and seek.
Okay, so when you say that, you did this training and you're looking to see what services that you can offer that the Cayman might not have, what are those gap in services that you're hoping to meet?
Yeah, the gap is intensives. That's what the gap is.
Intensives?
Intensives, correct. Feeding intensives. What I've found is, and this is probably a greater conversation to have, and I've got great aspirations to, perhaps speak to people in the government or get government-funded programs to actually provide for children who won't eat, provide access to therapy where they can come. What's nice about intensives is that there's a start and there's an end to therapy. Often parents don't want to start therapy because they're like, oh, my child is going to be in therapy forever, When it comes to feeding therapy, the frequency matters, right? So seeing a child twice a day for 4 weeks has such a greater impact than once a week for 5 years. Because feeding is so complex and oftentimes behavioral and needs so much support, increasing the frequency of sessions, I have seen now, especially after going and doing my internship, it is the frequency that really, really helps. Never mind the knowledge, and you have to view it from a very holistic lens and have a lot of understanding about it. Intense therapy really does work for feeding challenges, which we'll get into it more, which are actually very complex.
Okay, so your hope is to be able to see patients twice a day.
Yes, which is something that we don't do, right? It's not something that we do. Oftentimes once a week, maybe twice a week.
Right.
That is something that I'm really wanting to do, provide feeding intensives, almost like boot camps. But what's nice about it is that there's a start and there's an end. You have clear goals. A lot of the time, sometimes therapy can feel quite, how long are they going to be in therapy for? How long is it going to take for my child to do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
But with intensives and with the clear goals that we have, obviously understanding the why behind why a certain child won't eat. And that's why clinical reasoning, clinical judgment, clinical expertise and knowledge is so important. And that's what I've spent over 10 years trying to refine within feeding therapy.
Let's turn to the why. What are the reasons that children struggle to eat?
There are
I just don't want to gain weight, but I'm an adult. So
do you know what? It is so layered. It is so layered. Feeding is actually the most complex thing that a human being does. It involves every single bodily system. When you think about eat, okay, well, me and you don't really think about it. We're just like, I don't want to eat the pizza because I don't want to gain weight or whatever. But when we put it in our mouth, we eat it, everything works and we swallow it and off we go with our day. But if something is going wrong anywhere in the body, it can manifest as a feeding issue. So for example, sometimes eating actually employs all 8 sensory systems that we have in our body. Never mind just the ones that we know: sight, taste, hearing, touch, and smell. Interoception, gustatory, and vestibular.
Those are the other 3.
Those are the internal ones, yes.
Because I didn't know we had 8. Okay.
Yes, correct. So the way that your body processes information, so like let's say our autistic or our neurodivergent population, right? One of the things they struggle with, or one of their differences, let's not say struggle, their differences is the way that their body processes sensory information. For us, a piece of pizza is just a delicious piece of pizza. For them, because of sensory differences and sensory sensitivities, it might taste completely different and feel like a completely different experience to them than it does for us, right? So sometimes people are coming in with a completely different sensory system, different ways that they perceive sensory information, and that is going to affect the way that we eat. Think about like kids who are on the beige diet: chicken nuggets, fries, crackers. We call it the beige diet.
I didn't even hear about the beige diet.
Why are they eating the beige diet?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, because it's safe for the sensory system. A lot of the time, our neurodivergent population, our kids with autism, just eat brown foods. Why? Because it feels safe. A chicken nugget always tastes the same.
To those children, it feels safe.
Yes.
So they're okay.
Oh, well, let's say
Are they almost
generally
associating by the color of the food?
Correct. But also think about a strawberry. You don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's sour, sometimes it's mushy, sometimes it's not ripe yet.
Yeah.
Right? To a body that is processing sensory information or struggling to do that already, we don't know what we're going to get with food. Food doesn't feel safe. So I'm always going to go for the chicken nuggets with the same temperature, with the same taste, the same brand, because that's what feels safe to a already dysregulated nervous system. So you can never separate the sensory system from eating. We are constantly modulating what is coming into our bodies using our sensory system when we're eating. And if that is already something that is different or something that we struggle with, eating can feel very unsafe. Very. That's just the sensory part, okay? Then you have oral motor, right? Oral motor skills are important for eating. Can a child chew? Can they lateralize their tongue? Can they grade the jaw movement necessary in order to do the AP transfer from the front to the back of the mouth? So oral motor skills we have to look at. Previous medical history. Do they have gastrointestinal issues? Do they have reflux? Do they have food allergies that are undetected? Does eating literally feel uncomfortable and painful for them?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's going on structurally? Do they have a tongue tie? Are they able to even move their tongue? From a trauma perspective, have they been forced to eat food, and now food literally means
right
forcing and pressure?
If you don't eat your food, you don't get to whatever it is. You don't get to
correct
see your friends.
Correct.
Leave your room, whatever it is. Yeah.
Posture, tone, the way that we sit. Literally every single system, attention, modulation, every system in our body we use when we are eating. Eating is the most complex thing that human beings do, but people who don't struggle with it don't know that. And that's what the therapist's role is. I need to put myself into that person's body. I need to understand the why. Why? Because there is always a why. It's not, oh, this person is being defined, this person is being picky. There is always a why.
A relationship that we have.
Correct. It is my job to find out why, and I take it very seriously. Yeah. And often there's intermingling reasons why. Sometimes it's not just one. But there could be 3 different reasons why 3 different children are not eating the same vegetable, right? One might not have the oral motor skills and not have developed the correct literal oral motor skills necessary to eat that. One might be so sensory averse that that food literally feels so unsafe for their body, and the other one might have choked on it a while ago, and now there is a trauma-informed response to that food.
Right.
So it is so layered. Eating, feeding is so layered.
Oh, it absolutely is. We got to take a quick commercial break right
Yes.
now. When we come back, we're going to get even deeper into this. It's such an interesting topic.
It really is.
Yes.
It really is.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise
at
Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, you got a great
this is Vashti, the proudly Caymanian singer. I want to say a huge congratulations to Radio Cayman on 50 years. Radio Cayman has been supporting local music from day one. I can remember driving in my mother's car at 17 years old and hearing my song on the radio for the first time. It was such an exhilarating feeling. So I want to say a big, huge congrats on 50 years and continue supporting local music the way that you do.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and my guest in studio with me right now is Lexi Berger from Strive Therapy. She's a speech therapist, an audiologist, and a feeding therapist, and I definitely think she should go back on a stage too, because she said she loved being on a stage, and that's what brought her into into this career. But she's very expressive and very passionate and interested in what we're talking about here. And you were speaking a little earlier about having a food and then it may not being presented or tasting the exact same way that somebody's used to, and all of a sudden they don't feel safe with that food. Yeah. Then I think about us as humans. So that person who didn't feel safe with the food, they'll stick to what they always know. That will always give me the same result. Hopefully, I know what this food will do for me. Now, as humans, I think that we get used to, we have a habit of what we eat. Like, I have the same breakfast all the time, and I know it's protein packed. I know it's great, but if I go and I try a different breakfast and it doesn't taste that good, or it irritates me, and I'm not going to get the same feeling as my regular breakfast. Is that the same as feeling unsafe? Like, I deviated from what I know is good for me? Is that the same?
That is a good question. I would say no, it is not the same. But it does speak to the fact that eating is very behavioral. It does speak to the fact that, like, eating is behavior, and very much so a psychological thing. You know what makes you feel good and you eat it, right?
This is why I eat too much chocolate and ice cream, because it makes me feel great.
So great, right?
Yes.
Yeah. To self-confessed chocoholic here, but
yes.
No, but it's not the same in that if you were to eat a different breakfast, let's say you ate a bowl of oats instead of your usual, it's not going to perhaps like derail your day, or you have the skills necessary to be able to eat that meal and go on with your day. A lot of the time, a person who is a problem feeder, I'll talk to you about the difference between picky eating and problem feeding after I've made this point. But a lot of the time, the person who really is struggling, they physically cannot eat that food. They either don't have the skill set, it's too overwhelming from them from a sensory point of view, and they just actually cannot. So they would rather go hungry a lot of the time, or we have a meltdown.
Wow, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's really important that we put ourselves into the body of the person and what are they experiencing. And that's always going back to the why. We have to understand why. It is my job to understand what is going on. And that's why doing a full assessment and spending time with the children, time with the parents, understanding every facet of it is so important. You can't just say, oh, we're going to put this child in this feeding therapy and just work through the stages. A lot of the time kids come to me and they've worked through a therapy program, let's say, and they are finally able to lick and touch a food, but then that is where it stops, right? It's because we're trying to generalize a program for multiple people with different needs. So each child and each person needs to be looked at as an individual. No one therapy program works. And I think also that's why feeding is so challenging, is you have to use your intuition, you have to use your knowledge, and you have to constantly be being like a detective. Going back to picky eating versus problem feeding, a lot of the time I'll get referred picky eaters, right? And there is a difference. A lot of the time, picky eaters, it happens naturally in development. Like the terrible twos, the kids are established in their autonomy. They're very fussy with things. Often it happens developmentally with a lot of children. They are picky eaters. But with a picky eater, you will still see they're able to eat still a variety of foods, right? They're picky about it, but we're not seeing whole food groups disappearing. We're not seeing meltdowns. We're not seeing completely we're not seeing quality of life being affected, right? And usually these kids are maintaining a healthy enough diet, right? And go on to be healthy individuals. But with problem feeders, there is a why. not just autonomy versus shame, Erickson's developmental, whatever. They're 2 and 3 and they'll grow out of it. Or a lot of the time, and we like to say, we don't want to say they'll grow out of it. We actually always want to make sure that we get, if there is a why, we find it. But with problem feeders, there is something that's going on with the sensory system, medically, oral motor, behaviorally, there is something going on, and it's affecting the family's quality of life, the child's quality of life, and their ability to participate in life.
Did I already ask, because I can't remember, what are the underlying reasons that children are problem feeders?
Yes, you did ask, and then we spoke about multiple sensory.
That's sensory, though. Okay, that was those things, yes.
Correct, yes.
Got you.
Yes,
okay.
Correct. So
we hit those points, yes.
Yes,
because I remember you were elaborate with that, because that's where the whole feeling safe with one food and then not feeling safe with it anymore came from.
Correct, and then something though to mention though is, as a practice, Alison and myself, we're both neurodiversity affirming therapists. We don't want to change people for who they are. We want to understand them for who they are and help them exist best in the body that they are given, right? So it's really important also when we're talking about feeding therapy or speech therapy or, the services that we provide to adults and children, that we take a neurodiversity affirming approach. We're not trying to fix anybody. No one needs to be fixed. It's important we understand that the body that they exist in, and we give them the feeding therapy, speech therapy, auditory processing therapy, which Alison, that's her niche, and the therapy that they need for the body that they existing in is really, really important. We're not trying to change anybody. We're trying to support them. We're trying to give them a mode of communication.
The tools that they need.
Correct. And all modes, talking about communication, all modes of communication are valid. It's really important that we're not just a speech therapy practice, right? We do offer lots of different things, but speech for a lot of kids and people is not the main goal. Sometimes they won't talk, but there are multiple valid forms of communication that we then need to support. We need to say, okay, what is the best form of communication for this person? Is it alternative augmentative communication, where they communicate with an iPad app? Is it PECS, a picture exchange system? Is it gesture? Is it body language? Or is it behavior? And this is something that's really important. Behavior is usually always communicating something. If a child is melting down, an autistic child, they're kicking, they're lying on the floor, they're screaming, they're biting. This is not them choosing to be defiant or them choosing to misbehave. This is them usually communicating an unmet need. The iceberg theory, have you heard of the iceberg analogy?
Absolutely.
The tip of the iceberg is the hitting, the biting, the behaviors that we see. What's underneath that? An unmet sensory need, frustration, inability to communicate what they want. Something went wrong earlier in the day and now their whole world feels like it's spinning out of control. It's so important that we understand that and understand regulation and how important regulation is for communication and for feeding. And that's also really important. I work a lot with the neurodiverse population, autistic people, making sure that they're regulated. Is their body in homeostasis? Is their sensory system regulated before we even start eating? Imagine I ask you to eat something while you're on a roller coaster. A lot of it's so important to put yourself into what is the state of the body that this person is coming into my therapy room. Are they super, super elevated that they're not going to be able to do what they need to do?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why understanding regulation and how to achieve equilibrium in the body before doing tasks for speech and learning and feeding is so important. We always want to be understanding the person for who they are and their strengths and coming at it from that point of view, from that human point of view.
You work with a lot of children who are autistic.
Yes.
And I think what we need to remember as a society, there is a spectrum. So
yes.
I have people that like to tell me, oh, I think you're neurodivergent. And I'm like, well, I don't care what you think. I don't think I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I sleep weird with my hand on my chin, whatever the signs are,
Neurodivergence in us, right? What is normal when you ask the question?
Right.
What is normal? What is typical?
Right.
It doesn't exist. Just because you've met one autistic person means you have met one autistic person.
Right.
The spectrum is so large.
It is.
It's vast.
And I think
it's like with people.
We can be misunderstanding people out there when we see them with their family or a loved one in public with somebody who is autistic, neurodivergent. We might be a little too judgmental.
Yes.
We're all in a public space. Why are you in this public space when we should be agreeing to how to share this public space?
Correct.
People can be really weird.
Yes.
So how do you I guess best work with families to support support the parents
Yeah.
that might be having trouble with their children, but then also kind of figuring out where do you got to start with a child if they're autistic. How do you even begin that process in learning what they need?
Yeah, I think firstly also working within a team is so important, and we have such amazing providers on the island, and I work so closely, with occupational therapists, pediatricians. We have working within a team is really important, but I think the first thing is acceptance of this is who this person is, this is who this individual is, and this is what we're working with. I think acceptance is the most important thing, and coming at it from, as I said, a neurodiversity affirming place, but also supporting parents in that it's not an easy journey. Oh my gosh, it's not an easy journey. Society is not set up for different, right? If someone
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So providing that support, and that it's also okay to grieve, and to grieve that this is not the norm, but once then we can support and be there and assess the child as a whole, not a once-off assessment that I'm like, oh, severe expressive language delay, severe receptive expressive language delay, once off after assessing your child for an hour, this is your child. Like, I will never do that to a parent. And I've had so many parents come to me and be like, oh, well, this is the report. It says my child is poor in every single area. I'm like, your child is not a report. Your child is not a piece of paper. It is so important that therapists see the child for who they are and be really discerning in how we deliver information, and see the whole person. I'm very much so and I keep saying neurodiversity affirming like a broken record, but it is true. We're trying to take the old paradigm of, if we have an autistic individual, reminding them to make eye contact, right? We don't know if that's not naturally what they do. We don't want them to do that. Trying to tell them to use your words in the middle of a breakdown. Who can use their words in the middle?
I can't even do it.
Correct. And that's why I think the most important thing as therapists and helping parents is to get into the body of your child, to get in, to understand, use analogies. And I love to use analogies and say, like to teachers, when they ask me and they're like, well, this child is coming into school and they're already dysregulated at 7 a.m. and now the whole day is ruined. I'm like, well, how did they start their day? What happened in their day that's already dysregulated them? Maybe their breakfast was wrong, the milk was the wrong temperature, and their sensory system just capitulated, and they're already starting their day at 30%, whereas someone else might be starting at 100. And I think understanding that bodies work differently and process differently, and getting into that body really can help with helping them, but also helping parents understand and adjusting. Yeah. Correct.
Everybody has to adjust in this. I hate to bring us to an end, but we've just gone over the show by almost 2 minutes here.
Okay.
So you're chock full of information. You have so much info, and I can tell that you love what you're doing. You're just so much to say. Yeah, absolutely. Would love to. We have to end the show.
Okay,
so for people to get in touch with you.
Yes, our website just launched, www.strive.ky, and we're on Instagram, strive.therapy.services, and we are, Instagram, and our website and I've just made a Google business page so you can find our info there, and we just really want to help the Cayman community provide services that are just going to help. That's what myself and Alison are most passionate about. So thank you for having me, and
no problem.
I hope it was helpful.
It definitely was. I've learned a lot. I mean, feeding therapists, never heard of this, and as I said, I probably need one.
No, girl, no, you're good.
You have no idea. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us on The Buzz today. We'll be back with you next week, so have a good weekend ahead of you.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's innovation hub. Discover your opportunity at enterprisecayman.ky. And Kirk Home Center. They've got a great deal in store for you.